Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge of financial freedom. Today, I don't have any headlines. I just kind of wanted to go over some of the job data, maybe take a look at a few more assets than normal, and potentially take a trade together if we can figure out what direction we want to go and what asset we want to trade on. So go ahead, throw out a few assets in the chat that we want to take a look at for a community trade this morning, and we'll do some TA on those after we get dived in and get you prepped for some success today. Here, let me see if I can get that adjusted. Let me turn it up just a little bit. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. K-Diggity saying XLM. Well, that's actually an asset I got pulled up in the background, so maybe we can take a look at that one. But let's get you prepped for some success today. With that stock heat map, we are seeing quite a bit of movement this morning. Some green numbers for a change. So let's dive on in, get that dissected, and then we can take a look at some other data. We got Apple sitting down 1.04% and looking to the upside this morning, up 3.04. Quite a big green number this morning for Apple. Nvidia also looking quite green this morning, up 0.64 after a close to the downside of 1.95. Berkshire Hathaway also looking a little bit green this morning, a little more neutral than the rest of everything, down or up 0.13. We've got Amazon sitting up 0.28 this morning. Eli Lilly sitting to the downside, down 0.15. ExxonMobil sitting to the downside as well, down 0.58. We've got Tesla sitting to the upside quite nicely, up 1.61 this morning. P&G looking quite neutral this morning, down 0.09. We've got Microsoft sitting to the downside, 0.08. Google with some big green numbers this morning, sitting up 5.51% right now. We've got Meta also sitting in the green, up 0.81%. Let's hop over to the crypto side of things. We're seeing some nice green bubbles over there on the yearly. Let's get this pulled up on the daily. Get that back to my favorites so we can look at that top 25. Quite a bit of green bubbles here. We can scroll it on down, see what we're looking at on everything. We are getting some green on this hourly as well. We got a few that are lagging behind, like BNB and Solana, but Bitcoin sitting up 0.07%. We've got ETH sitting a little bit down 1.2%. XRP up 1.2% and taking a spot in that market cap from a stable coin. We've got BNB sitting with 0% change on the board. We've got Solana up 2.4%. Doge taking a spot in that market cap from Tron, sitting up 1.3%, while Tron sitting down 0.3%. We've got Cardano up 1.2%. Chainlink sitting with 0% change on the board, seeing a little bit of green on that hourly though. Hyperliquid up 0.8%. We've got Bitcoin Cash sitting up 5.6%, taking two spots in that market cap, one from SWI and one from XLM. SWI sitting up 1.3%. We got Stellar Lumens down 0.3%, but seeing a little bit of green on the hourly. Avalanche up 3.8%, HBAR up 0.6%, and Leo token seeing a little bit of red on that daily, down 0.9%. Hopping over to those fear and greeds, the stock market's back to neutral. It was sitting in some light greed for most of last week. saw some decent sell-off yesterday, and now we're back to 53 and neutral, down 8 points. Crypto side of things also looking a little bit neutral. We're 1 point into greed right now, sitting at 55 and some extremely light greed. We'll kind of have to see if we can take some levels back on Bitcoin and maybe get that move back into some light greed with a little more strength there. We do have some liquidity directly to the upside of us on this 24-hour chart. That top side liquidity is coming in at 112,400 and ranging all the way down to 112,200. So a nice little hotspot directly above us. We'll definitely be talking about that here in a second when we get to that chart. Taking a look at this 3-day to see where any explosive moves might take us, would take us directly to that same area, 112,400 for that top side and all the way down here to 112,000 for the bottom side. You can start to see a little bit of liquidity that is piled up to the bottom side. Just some light liquidity here on the 3-day, sitting at that 106,900. Zooming on out a little bit further, taking a look at that 1 week there, you do have a little more liquidity to keep your eyes on. We do have some liquidity down here on the bottom side, people longing at those potential bottoms, sitting at 107,200. Nice little hotspot to the bottom side, about $100 million sitting down there, and to the top side, back at that 112,400, we have about $100 million up there as well. Zooming on out, take a look at that 1 month so you can really see that we've cleared out a lot of the liquidity that was sitting in our sideways range, up from 124,000 down to our last all-time previous high. So that next real area to the bottom side is sitting all the way down here. We will kind of have to see if we grab that liquidity first and then make our leg up, or if we make our leg up and grab this liquidity on our ride back down. Let's hop over to that economic calendar because we did have some jobs data coming out today that we want to keep our eye on. We got the 30-year mortgage rate application coming out this morning as well. That'll be at 7 a.m. Eastern time. Might be seeing a little bit of a change on there after the bond markets took a little bit of a sell-off yesterday, and those interest rates came up to the upside. So definitely going to be watching that 30-year mortgage rate application this morning. Scrolling on down, we get a Fed chair speaking, Fed mausoleum at 9 a.m. Scrolling on down a little bit further, we got 10 a.m. factory orders month over month, looking like an increase on that, but still in the negative, and JOLTS jobs opening, sitting with a little bit of a decrease there. Kind of headed in the right direction. You want to see those jobs openings being a little bit less, and your job quits and your unemployment rate coming down. So we will take a look at that job data at 10 a.m. here on the Piper Academy when Piper goes live at that morning market report. Scrolling on down a little bit further, we got some more data coming out this week that we wanted to touch on. We get those imports and those initial jobless claims. Initial jobless claims also looking like they might come out a little bit hot. That forecast is at 229,000. That forecast is at 230,000. That prior was at 229,000. So a slight increase, nothing too concerning. We will kind of have to keep our eye on Friday's data drop though. Friday, we do get that unemployment rate. Let's scrolling on down so we can see that. We get that non-farm payrolls and our unemployment rate coming out on Friday afternoon, looking like an increase from 4.2% to 4.3%. So definitely going to be keeping our eyes on this week's job data, since the Fed had talked about jobs numbers being the reason that they might end up doing some rate cuts, and we'll watch that going forward. Let's pull up that Bitcoin chart, say good morning to the people, because we got several people in here watching, a few lurkers in the background. And we got one person over on X. So I appreciate you over there. Hope y'all are having a great day. Let's see who we got. We got Duality C in the chat. Good morning to you. We got Donato Cabrera in here. Good morning, good morning. Let's see, we got Dylan VA, J Violet in here as well. Good morning to the both of you. Hope you're having a great day. We've got K Diggity in here as well. He said Open Club. Must have been enjoying that music at the beginning. We got JR in the chat. Good morning to you. Let's see who else we got. Hopefully that sounds a little bit better for you, J Violet. I turned up the microphone just a bit. A little bit quiet this morning. Was definitely a little bit sleepy. Stayed in bed a little bit longer, so I'm less awake than normal. We've got David Gelfand in here. Good morning to you. And we got Jay in the chat as well. Let's see, anyone. Darren Does Things in here. Good morning to you. Let's see, anyone else to no, we did have a few requests in the chat to look at for a potential trade. We had XLM. Let me get that on the list. Was there anything else to take, for me to take a look at? AVAX, JR. All right, we can take a look at some AVAX as well. Anything else, go ahead and throw those in the chat for me. Let's see. Not seeing any other requests there. AVAX to the moon, says JR. Well, we'll take a look at that chart and then see if it's just being a moon boy or if we might actually get AVAX to the moon. Let's take a look at this Bitcoin chart first. We are getting a slight green candle here on this daily. As you can see, we had this line pulled up from a candle on a shorter time frame, and we'll kind of have to see if we can hold that area as some support. That was 111,000. It was a little bit of a support area yesterday before we got that drop below it. Let's zoom that on out, get this moved on over so you can see those oscillators just a little bit better here. This is a daily time frame looking quite nice. If we can get some money flow coming back in, your money flow is sitting barely in the red here as this prime oscillator has a triple bullish divergence and your prime oscillator is getting some curvature back to the upside. The only thing we're really lacking on here on the daily is some money flow. So if we can get some money flow coming on that shorter time frame, that really leads into a big bleed over into your higher term time frame, you could really make that move back up to our CME gap here. That's this blue line coming in at 113,600 for the bottom side and all the way up to 116,800 for the top side. We do have the top side of our golden pocket fib extensions coming in that CME gap as well. So a lot of areas where we could really come in and do some testing on. We did see that CME gap coming in as some resistance when we got that move back towards the upside last time. So we'll kind of have to see if we can get back up to that and make our way into the CME gap to really try to close that out. Let's get this zoomed on in. Take a look at that 4 hour there. 4 hour doing a lot of sideways momentum on top of that $111,000 mark. We did see that come in as some support yesterday. Got that nice move below it. Now we're trying to make our way back up to 111,800. That is our strong resistance area here. We got that wick off of it. We got that wick off of it there. We got that strong rejection off of it there as soon as we lost it as well. So a very strong resistance area directly to the top side of us as this 4 hour is starting to look a little overheated. We do see that prime oscillator with a bearish divergence and your prime oscillators getting some curvature back to the downside as that money flow is trying to make its way back in. So if we can get that money flow coming in from that shorter time frame, taking a look at this hourly, we could see that move back towards the upside and that CME gap. We do have that MACD getting some curvature back towards the upside here and curvature back towards the upside on the prime oscillator as that money flows just getting into the green this morning. We'll kind of have to watch this 111,800 to see if that's going to be resistance again. Make another little higher low here. We've been making higher lows this entire time, getting a little bit of some curvature there. And we've got this new little area where we've started to make a little bit higher lows that are a little bit shorter in distance. So we will kind of have to watch if we can strict underneath this 111,800 and that bottom side of our golden pocket fib extension to really get that constriction and the cool down on our higher term time frames to get that push back up towards the upside there. Money flow is sitting barely in the green here on this hourly. We'll kind of have to see what that 15-minute is bringing our way. And that 15-minute has gotten a lot of cool off with this sideways momentum directly underneath that 111,800 and that 110,800, which is that bottom side of our golden pocket fib extension there. You can see we do have a little bit of a bearish divergence here. That MACD still pointing to the upside and prime oscillator still pointing to the upside as well, but you could expect to see a little bit of some resistance this morning at that 111,800 with this money flow starting to come in a little bit red here. So we'll kind of have to see if we do get that little bit of a rejection off of 111,800 to make that move back down to make a new higher low and then get that move back towards the upside there. That's what I got for some Bitcoin. Let's get that XLM chart pulled up. We were taking a look at that the other day over on our Piper Academy Discord. Let's get this zoomed on in here, get a little bit of a better look. We do have this daily also looking a little bit nice for a move to the upside if we can get some money flow coming in. We do have some nice constrictions on the price. We have this as a descending wedge here, so looking like a little bit of some constriction. We do have some support directly below us at 35 cents. We are sitting directly on top of the 50% line here on XLM as we're getting some curvature back towards the upside on that MACD and prime oscillator after our secondary reversal signal has flashed. So waiting to see if we can hold this 50% line and get some stronger moves towards the upside. Let's take a look at that hourly, see what we're looking at for the rest of the day here. Let's get this zoomed on in a little bit better. We do have two areas of interest directly towards the upside as that MACD is getting some curvature back towards the upside and prime oscillator getting some curvature back towards the upside as well as we make these higher lows and higher highs here. So if we can make our way back up to this area directly above us, we do have a few fair value gap there. That's going to be an area of interest for me on XLM as pulled from way back here. We do have a very big fair value gap on top of that. Might just end up redrawing this here. Let's get a new fair value gap because that does come in at the top side there for this fair value gap. And we've got this coming all the way in down here at 39.30. So a big area of interest there. Let's get this colored in purple so we know it's a fair value gap and not a CME gap. That'd be an area to kind of target for a top side if we end up longing there. This would be more than a single day trade here, so I would potentially take some profits down here at some of the lows that came in as some resistance here. We do have 37 cents being an area where we could potentially take a little bit of profit and then ride that all the way back up to 39.30. Let's take a look at AVAX as well. That was another request there. Let's see, AVAX getting some moves towards the upside. We do have 26.30 being an area of some interest. If we can get that move back up there. Looks like most of this move has already happened, but let's get this zoomed on out, really see what we're looking at here. Nice constricting price action below 26.30. That's our top side, and between 22.25. That's going to be our bottom side support area to keep our eye on. I see Jesse Gluck in the chat. Good morning to you. And we got Caliphant in here as well. AOL, I'm assuming you're asking for the stock on that. Let's see, AOL, we can take a look at that. And I'm seeing a request for soul as well. So let's get a few of these as well. Lol, no, no, no. Yeah, and chocolate. What are y'all talking about? I'm drinking my coffee black. Uh, I'm like an angry German today, says JR. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Anything else in there that I missed? Living in that Eastern time zone in Netherlands. Let's see. Anything else? Uh, Nope, y'all just having some fun this morning. Well, keep it on up, have some fun. Let's see if we can take a trade together. We did have AVAX coming up, looking like it could be a nice little break towards the upside if we can get some money flow coming back in. We did have this nice price constriction below $26.30 and $22.25. That MACD's looking nice and cooled off here as we're getting some curvature back towards the upside. Prime oscillator also getting some curvature back towards the upside as well. Waiting to see if we can really get above that 26.30. And then we have that golden pocket directly above us at $30.45. Let's see, 4 hour looking a little bit toppy here. We do have that prime oscillator with a reversal signal that has flashed. Let me get that zoomed out a little bit better. Prime oscillator with a reversal signal that has flashed. Still pointing to the upside on the MACD though. So we'll kind of have to see if we can get some continuation of some money flow on the shorter term time frame. Let's see what that hourly is looking like. Hourly also looking a little bit toppy here. So AVAX move might be a move to the downside depending on how that Bitcoin price action is. If we can get that continuation to the upside after a little bit of a move back down on Bitcoin, hold that $111,000 mark and get that move back up above 111,800, we could see AVAX making a move above $26.30. Let's see on the 15 minute definitely looking a little bit toppy here as well. MACD getting that curvature at the top side here, looking like it's about to roll over. Prime oscillator sitting in the red and moving a little bit sideways here. So potential for a short on AVAX? Maybe. We'll kind of have to see how Bitcoin action plays out. We had Sol asked for. Let's take a look at some Solana. It's been a while since I've done that. Oh, look at that nice horizontal level coming in as some resistance there. That was 217.87. That was pulled from way back there where we got some candle body closes, probably on the 4 hour. We are looking like we're making some higher lows here. Got that nice strong bounce off of the 50, really blasted through a lot of these areas and then came back and retested them as some support. We had 173.40 being that nice strong bouncing area, continued on to the upside above the 382, saw that 217 come in as some resistance, and we're waiting to see if we can get above there now. MACD is looking a little bit overheated. Prime oscillator also looking a little bit constricted here. Could get that move back towards the upside if we get some money flow coming in. Let's take a look at this 4 hour. 4 hour looking a little bit toppy. We got that reversal signal. We got the rollover. MACD still pointing towards the upside here, but we've got some money flow in the green, so we'll kind of have to watch that shorter term time frame, because if Bitcoin gets that move towards the upside, we can get that move back up to the 236 here and $230 for some Solana. Got that prime oscillator getting some curvature. Got that sideways momentum on the MACD as well. Waiting to see if we can get that continuation of money flow that we're seeing coming in on the positive here on the hourly. So let's take a look at that 15-minute and the morning. 15-minute and the morning looking quite nice and cooled off here with this sideways momentum we've been getting this morning. We do have that money flow barely in the green, so we could see that nice little retest down here all over again, 206.43, and then make that way back up to 217. AOL, let's see. AOL, I'm guessing it would be this. Looks a little bit iffy there on that price action on the 15. Got those big gaps. Let's see on the daily, getting those nice strong moves towards the upside, seeing a little retracement. Nice move from the bottom to the top, coming back down to that platinum pocket there, failing to hold it though. So let's get that zoomed on in. Take a look at the hourly. Hourly seeing a little bit of some sideways momentum here on the MACD. Oop, wrong button. Sideways momentum on the MACD as we're trying to approach that zero line, and this platinum pocket is coming in as a little bit of a resistance area. So making a move back down might be something to keep your eye on. Let's get that horizontal ray pulled on up here. We've got an area where we got quite a few touches at 0.06143. That'd be an area to see if we could get a bounce from. Definitely not interested in taking a trade on this one, but let's get that poll pulled up. We got 79% towards the upside there. Let's end that poll and see what we got on XLM, AVAX, or Solana there. Or we can take a trade on Bitcoin as well. So let's see. We got AVAX, we've got XLM, we've got some Solana, or we can take a trade on some Bitcoin. Let's see what we got for everyone's thoughts on a trade this morning. We can take a look at some VVV as well, JR. Trying to stick to those bigger projects for our trades together though. So let's see what everyone thinks on a trade together, and we will take a look at some VVV in the background and then get a trade pulled on up. This was a crypto AOL. I don't know if that's actually the AOL company there. Let's see if we got a stock for AOL. AOL apparently not. Oxygen, Associated Oxygen Ltd. So apparently that AOL does not exist anymore. But let's take a look at VVV. VVV, I believe I have it on the Coinbase chart there. Yep, definitely on that Coinbase chart. We're seeing that platinum pocket be a little bit of a area of some support here. We've got some nice strong moves towards the upside off of it, and then saw that retracement all the way back down to our strong support area at that platinum pocket. Let's see what we're looking like here on the daily. A very quick mover. I can see why JR, being a degen, would absolutely love this, because you do get those very volatile moves towards the upside here. Let's get that cleaned on up. See if we can find some new horizontals to really keep our eye on. We do have an area towards the upside here at $3.03. That'd be in a little bit of an area of interest if we can hold this platinum pocket. We do have an area directly below us, which could be a support area. Let's get that moved on over there and see what we'd be looking at on a shorter term time frame to see if we can find a trade for JR. JR and VVV sitting in a tree, says K Diggity. Oh my goodness, y'all having way too much fun. That's hell of a range, says K Diggity. It most definitely is. It got that strong move up to $5.35 and has really held that 786 quite nicely at $2.60. It'll get some brief moves below it. Liquidity sweep from here. We got that move back above it, held it as some support, got that move back up to the 50, and then you see this liquidity sweep of anything that would be below this platinum pocket. Then we found us some support and then got that strong move back up to the 236 and then all the way back down. So crazy volatility on that. Some nice strong moves though. Let's get this zoomed on in. That daily looking a little bit nice on the prime oscillator, but still lacking to see that sideways momentum on the MACD there. Hourly does look a little bit nice for a pump towards the upside. Would potentially look for the lows from here being a little bit of some resistance. It was resistance before. That's about $2.81. Let's get that drawn up as a short-term time frame and make it a little bit thinner for you. There we go. We got $2.80 being a strong resistance area. We got below it, got that move back up towards it, and got that move back up towards it again. Really rejected off those areas, making some higher lows right now. Waiting to see if we can get that higher high above 280. That'd be an area where there's most likely some liquidity after some shorting opportunities there. Let's get that locked and then take a look at this 15-minute and see what everyone's voting on. We got XLM taking the lead on that poll. Yep. We got a three-way tie. XLM, Solana, and Bitcoin in a three-way tie for a trade opportunity. Looking a little bit iffy here on VVV on the shorter term time frame. 15-minute getting a little bit of sideways momentum on the MACD. Prime oscillator getting some curvature back towards the upside as that money flows in the red here. So don't want to lose some of these lows from here, about $2.66. Let's get that drawn out for you as well. That's going to be $2.66. That's the highs from there as well. That'd be that area of interest. We get those candle bodies on top of that line there. Got that nice move off of it. If we lose that platinum pockets that area of interest below us. So waiting to see if we can get that bounce off of 266. And that move back up to $2.82 there. Let's end that poll. We got XLM, Solana, and Bitcoin. So let's see. XLM, Solana, or Bitcoin. Let's see if we can get a bigger, or let's see if we can get a loser out of that, and then find our winner. So we got XLM, Solana, and Bitcoin. Let's see what you think, and let's see if we've got any other assets to take a look at. I wasn't seeing any requests, but we can definitely take a look at something. We got ETH Moonbound here on low. Let's see. Let's take a look at some Ethereum. It's been a little while since we've taken a look at it. Got that drop out of our box there to the top side, holding $4,212 quite nicely. Let's get that horizontal ray drawn on out. That's where we got some nice strong bouncing action off of. Really failed to get back into that box though. Let's see. We got that coming in at $4,210. Waiting to see if we can get that move back up into this box. We make some brief moves in there, but nothing with some strength. As you zoom that on out, take a look at those higher term time frames. You see a lot of that is some wicking action into the box there. There we go. That daily's really showing you that constriction with 4,210 being that strong area of some support to really watch out for. Let's see what we're looking at on that MACD and prime oscillator. Getting a little bit of sideways momentum there, but nothing too crazy with some nice curvature Money flow still sitting in the green here on that daily. Let's get this zoomed on in. Take a look at that 4 hour. We know that strong support's coming in at 4,210. Trying to get this move back into some old resistance. This comes from way back. Way back, there we go. That's from those old all-time highs there. We got that nice old all-time high at $4,374, and then this comes in from those candle bodies on a shorter term time frame there. So taking a look at the hourly and our current position, we are trying to make our way back up into this old resistance area. Solana bot is printing, says Jay Violet. Oh, well, Solana might be the trade there. XLM winning 83% though. Solana's got a 0% vote. So maybe that Solana move already played out. Let's see. JR dropping those violet hearts for J Violet there. Free the chillin'. Oh my goodness, y'all are some degens sometimes. Get that back, J Violet, says JR. Streamers always on the weekly and the monthly. I'm stuck on the 5-minute chart. It's a tough life being a degen. It most definitely is. I stick to those, those weekly charts and those daily charts. Sometimes I pull up the monthly to really get some history, but my screen's really big, so this is zoomed in so y'all can see it. 130%, I believe. Control that's 100%, and then you zoom this on out to like the daily time frame, and you can get all kinds of crazy price action on there. Like, look at that. I can see all kinds of history with my giant screen. I love it. So that's why I pull up those higher term time frames. It really lets me get a lot of history all in one. And then zooming on in there, you can see that a little bit better. Perks of a 32-inch screen. I absolutely love it. I get all the price history. I'm trying to get a bigger screen eventually. We'll kind of have to see though, because that would be quite nice to do some trading off of. Get your all-time history on any asset in the crypto space on one screen and never have to worry about it. But let's get this zoomed on in. Take a look here at the 15-minute. See what the morning might be bringing to our way for some Ethereum there. Caliphant saying, I've been spending more time on that hourly chart. So yeah, it's definitely a nice little chart if you're trying to get a little bit of a longer trade. I find my hourly and 4 hour, if I can get some confluence on them, I can hold a trade for at least a day minimum to like 3 days or so. So I like those higher time frame trades. It allows me to really not worry about these small movements here like this. If you had shorted from your all-time high on Ethereum, you could just eat all of the move back towards the upside there. Probably would have shorted from this one as we break structure there. So you retest, you get your short here. You could ride this on out and keep riding it on out as it makes those lower lows. Definitely more my style. I don't like to worry about all this and all that and all this. But I know some people do, and everyone has their trading style, and if it works for you, it works for you. And JR saying the 2, the 1, the 30, and the 15-minute. You're an absolute degen, sir. That 1 minute chart is the bane of my existence. I rarely use it, but if it works, it works. So you have yourself some fun. The larger time frames keep you from over leveraging. You can find yourself with some stupid stop loss positions if you're setting it off the 15 or below charts. Yeah, most definitely. I sometimes on those really big trades, I don't. Oh, he said 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 and 15. Okay, a little bit less degen-y there. So let's see what we were talking. K Diggity saying that 15-minute and below. Honestly, sometimes when I'm trading on that daily time frame, I don't even use a stop loss because my leverage is so low that it would literally have to go to like bear market levels for me to get liquidated on a Bitcoin trade. So it's like, why even put the stop loss? If we go down there, I'm going to know. I'm going to get alerts that we dropped to like 95K. So it's like, okay, well, maybe we exit trade now. And I just take my little bit of a small loss, but I'm not worried because my liquidation is all the way down at like 72,000. So, Ethereum trying to break back into this old all-time high area is looking a little bit toppy though, so you could see that move back to 4,210. XLM looking like the clear winner on our poll, so let's get that XLM chart pulled up and then try to find that XLM trade to make. Looking like now might be a decent time to enter. We do have that area at 37 cents being that area where we could take a little bit of some profits, and then that full profit at 39 cents. So let's get that pulled on up. Let's hop on over here. Let's get to XLM. There we go. And let's find that trade to take. All right, let's make sure we're on the right leverage there. We're going to put that at some 5x and USDT on that, so I'm not ordering in there. There we go. And let's get this moved on up. Gotta do $364. Wow, that's a crazy. I might have to get that sorted out at the end. Let's see. XLM, we might have to up that leverage just a little bit there. Go with a little bit higher leverage, 8. See if we can get it there. All right. Let's see. We got to do 1,000 XLM. So there we go. Looks like $45 is the move there. So we would have our take profit at 37 cents. Let's get this on the right one, so I'm not switching scenes on you. There we go. And then open along. Our stop loss would want to be down here at our lows, 35 cents there. So let's get that put on up 0.35, and we will open that long, and we will see how things go tomorrow. We're sitting down $1 right now, but that's okay. We will see how this goes, and we will make a decision tomorrow. We schlongen, says JR. Well, might have been the move. We might have to hedge a little bit. Might have to adjust that top side target that back to that 39 cents with the bottom side of that fair value gap there. So 39 cents. Let's get that moved. Because that's 30. Oh, that was extra short on the take profit. 39 cents. There we go. That's a little bit better there. All right. And we'll see what kind of movements we get today. We're already making a move back into some profit, so we will kind of have to ride this one out. I will let y'all know in the Discord. So if you're a member in the Discord, you will get those updates on how that trade is doing throughout the day. Until then, wrong button. Until then, I will see y'all at the next show. We do have 2 other shows here on the Piper Academy you should definitely take a look at. That's going to be that morning market report, the great place to get the breakdown of your data every single day. And we've got Trading with OC at 8 p.m. A great place for anyone that's up a little bit later than me, because I'm asleep by that time. Well, not asleep, but I'm laying down in bed by that time. So, great place to learn some TA and a great place to have some fun. I'm up 20 cents already. Take that, says Gay Diggity. You must have entered a little bit before me. I see Dutchy coming in at the end of the show. Afternoon, BC and noobs. Well, good afternoon to you Dutchy. I'm sending y'all over to that morning motivational mindset video on that giver's gain with Crypto Billy. So I will see y'all at the next one. Until then, make sure to wake up because today's going to be a good day.